I went 2 for 2 today, but one of those trades had a risk problem that I almost let slide. And I'm going to talk about it in this video, so stay tuned for all of the details. Okay, so let's get into my trades today. I took 2 trades, and I honestly didn't trade until the market opened. Okay, I'm going to make myself really small so you can see my screen. Actually, let me move this up. That way I can make myself a little bit bigger. Okay, so I didn't trade until the market opened. I sat on my hands all morning. I didn't see anything except this is, I almost traded in the pre-market, and I will show you what happened in the pre-market. So it was AUUD. Now today I was trying to go back to hotkeys. I used to use hotkeys, and then I stopped. I started using the hot buttons on the Thinkorswim page. Let me show you. Right here, okay? And then I went back to trying hotkeys today because I felt like my execution was too slow. And I remembered why I got frustrated with hotkeys is because you have to click on the active trader window. Otherwise, they won't automatically send. In any case, I decided that I was going to try that today. However, in the pre-market, I saw AUUD pulling back on this bull flag, and I was looking for a breakout here on this candle. So I had it ready, and I went to go execute the hotkey, but I forgot to click in the active trader window because I hadn't figured this out yet. And it came up with like the order window, and I was like, what's going on? And then I think I clicked to get out of it, and then someone knocked at the door. And I'm in a hotel in Prague, so I'm travel trading this week. So I go to the door and I'm like, it's housekeeping. And I had forgot to put the do not disturb sign on the door. So this is one of the things when I do my little traveling recap at the end of the trip, that's going to be one of the things I have to remember is to put the do not disturb sign. And they were like, oh, when do you want us to come back to clean the room? And I asked them after 4 p.m. and blah, 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 blah. So going forward, I might request that see if I can put in a request to have housekeeping come between certain hours so it doesn't interfere with my trading. So I might do that for tomorrow. But anyway, I missed this right here. I missed this move. And I was glad I did because these topping tails signaled a potential reversal, right? All right. So then I did finally at the open trade CPIX. I know, and I will show you this trade. And I know multiple people that lost money on CPIX today. However, I was looking for, this was a long pullback, and I was looking for a breakout over this candle and with a stop here at the low of this candle. So I was willing to risk $95, which is equivalent to about 20 cents a share, okay, at 500 shares. I ended up, it felt like it was hesitating and it wasn't continuing to go up. So I did sell on the bid and I got 30 cents. So 6 cents a share. And because of that, my return was 1/3 of what I was willing to risk. So my net return, my P&L R number was pretty low. So I was risking almost 20 cents a share, and I only got 6 cents a share. However, I do think I made a good decision to get in. I made a good decision to get out. I had a good setup. I called it a bull flag pullback and a gap and go because it was right at the market open. So I would say this trade was a solid trade. However, My next trade, TZOO, Travel Zoo, this was also a Bull Flag pullback, okay? And this one I'm saying was not a great trade. I got out with $8 at $8, okay? But look at how big this red candle is. So I was gonna get in at the high of this low candle, and down here is the low of and $5. So that honestly is like a really big risk. Okay, that's about 40 cents a share that I was risking. Okay, and I got $8, so my return was 0.0385 of my risk. So in this case, I felt like I didn't take a good trade because I really didn't expect to get more than 10 to 20 cents a share, but I was risking 40 cents a share. So that's something that I'm working this week on my Bull Flag pullbacks on my stop, because I was keeping the stop too tight before. And now I'm trying to work on having the stop be at the low of the low candle, right? But the problem is that in this candle, what I was risking and what I was hoping to get were incongruent, right? Risking 40 cents a share, I didn't think I was going to get 40 cents a share on this. I did get out too soon, probably, but I don't exactly remember why I sold on the bid as quickly as I did, but I think I just got really nervous and I sold on the bid. So I'm going to say that that was a bad process because I didn't really calculate I looked at the stop. On the chart, I marked them off, but I didn't really think about like how many cents a share I was risking before I got in and if it was really worth it to take the trade. So I think I should have not taken this trade, even though the result was green. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm tagging my setups with my setup. I'm tagging my trades with my setup, and I'm also tagging them with good process versus bad process. That's not really a creative tag. I probably should have come up with something a lot more fun. But in this case, and I wrote in my notes, the P&L ratio didn't make sense. The stop loss was too big. So what I really need to be cautious of is on the Bull Flag pullback, if everything looks good, but I'm risking too much, managing my risk is the part that I can control, right? So that's probably the part that I need to check before I get in. And I'm kind of curious, the thing is though, no, wait a minute. In my defense, the high of day was up here. Okay, now that I'm doing the video, I'm rethinking this. 1022 and 1089, that's almost 70 cents a share. And this was my target high of day. So I'm going to revise this. The stop loss was not big. I was thinking, oh, I'm going for 10 to 20 cents a share, but I'm actually going to say, now, I didn't calculate it before I took the trade, and that is my problem, okay? I'm going to say I should have calculated P and L ratio before the trade. However, I'm going to say I think I was looking at it visually, and now, this is the thing. There's so many things happening when you're trading, and I'm a new trader, so I'm still thinking this through, but I think visually I could see that the distance between here and here, the top and the bottom wick of the low candle was less than the distance between the top of this low candle and the high. It's clearly, the stop is clearly less than the first target. And since my first target was high of day, now I think I got out too early, maybe, but look, it did reject here. It didn't go to high of day. And there was something, and I wish I could remember exactly what it was. And I would have to go back to the live stream to see again to see if I said it out loud. But clearly there was something that caused me to get out at the time. And maybe that's some intuition starting to build, right? Because I want to collect data, but I also want to rely on some intuition. Okay. And I feel like intuition is gained through experience. I've only been doing it for a little over a year, but maybe that was a little bit of intuition kicking in. I don't know. All right. So stop placement. I had the right entry. Okay. It caught it a little bit late. I had the right stop. I had the right target. However, I don't think I was really cognitively calculating exactly, but maybe there's no time to run the numbers in the moment. Maybe I do have to eyeball it. And so I guess ideally I want this distance to be equal or less to, I want to say this distance here between the entry and the target should be 1 to 2 times the size of the distance between the entry to the stop. Maybe that's like, if I don't have time to calculate it in my head, which is what's happening, maybe I do need to do just like a rough visual check. Yeah, that looks like 1 to 2 times the size of the distance between the entry to the stop. So this is why I'm doing the recaps, because sometimes, I look at what I've analyzed from the trades, but once I start talking to you guys, things sort of kick in, and I think of new things while I'm actually filming. So I think in this case, and I'm tired. I'm still not recovered from my jet lag from my flight. I'm trading from Prague this week, and I'm really tired. And I think that's also factoring into my reaction on everything. All right. So that is a wrap for today. I am going to be live streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, the last trading day of the week. I will be live streaming tomorrow as well, as long as I can get on, but it hasn't been a problem yesterday or today. And so I will also be wrapping up my weekly goal in Substack on Friday. I'm not sure I have quite enough data to really, I wish I had more Bull Flag pullbacks that I had traded this week so I could have more data to analyze as far as the stop goes. But I do think at this point that focusing on the stop of the Bull Flag pullback has been extremely helpful. And anyway, tune in tomorrow. Maybe we'll get a few Bull Flag pullbacks tomorrow, and I can do a little bit more practice before I wrap that up on Substack. All right. Have a great day, you guys. Trade smart, and I will see you tomorrow.